Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Nibs Plays Games, and we are back here with set number 3 of this evening. It's going to be between Saiyan and Directing Ball. Roller Coaster is alongside of me. What's going on, Roller Coaster? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. Still very cold, but other than that, pretty solid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that snow that we had yesterday. I will mention that snow days in Austin, Texas are the absolute best because
what's that?
It's already gone.
Yeah, no. There's no way that was sticking around longer than like a day.
Yeah, you got like 6 inches up where you are, right? I think I got like 4.
Yeah, it was a little bit like heavier in the area that I was in, and just like for a frame of reference, that is the most snow I've ever seen in my yard, like in my life. I've lived here for over 20 years. I've never seen that much snow.
Yeah, originally being from New Jersey, I've seen a lot of snow. The people up in New York will kind of make fun of me for saying that because they get a crazy amount of snow compared to us down in South Jersey. But I've seen a lot of snow. I've seen the upwards of like two foot of snow.
Yeah.
At one time, and that stays for like weeks.
Yeah, that's and that's why I think snow is fun here because it's like a fun little fantasy, like a treat for the day. Like I've never dealt with multiple days of snow or having to shovel or like clearing roads or anything like that. Those are foreign concepts down here.
Yeah, and Adam in the chat saying Austin, Texas used blizzard, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the fact that Roller Coaster is frozen solid.
Yeah, I do keep freezing, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so it looks like Saiyan is going to go ahead and use one of my favorite combinations here. It's very similar to a team that I'm currently using. It's going to be Zapdos, Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl. It's actually looking like Waterfoo with Porygon 2 and Heatran, as Directing Ball is going to go ahead and use one of my favorite Pokemon is Garchomp, Venusaur, Cofagrigus, Torkoal, Incineroar, and Stakataka. I don't remember the last time we have seen Cofagrigus, or if we ever even have seen Cofagrigus here at ATX VGC.
I think a couple people use Cofagrigus as like one of the bulky Trick Room setters. I've seen some kind of gimmicky stuff with like Mummy passing on huge power with like weakness policy and Diggersby, but that was like real early on stuff. Sometimes I see like Curse and Burn stuff from it.
But I know it gets Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, not really a popular pick. Does have a very annoying ability though. Mummy is very frustrating to play against.
It's a big pain in the neck, and we are actually seeing Zaya's mid using one of Saiyan's emotes, the Pikachu one, and that's one of my favorites actually. Yeah, that's a very cool
Super
emote.
Saiyan Pikachu. Yeah. It looks good. Something that I just thought of is like it could be an interesting counter to Urshifu, like because if you hit it, it takes away Unseen Fist, so it can't hit through Protect anymore.
That's kind of cool. But if you're playing the Dark type Urshifu, you're probably just gonna die, right?
Yes. Yeah. So at what cost? It's also a ground type, so it can't take the water either. Or wait, no,
it's not. It's just a ghost, pure ghost.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the Galarian form.
Yeah. I think you're thinking of sand.
Runigerous.
Hollow sand. Yeah, I forget what that. Anyway, Directing Ball is going to go ahead and lead with. I wonder if this is going to be a max flare from Incin to set the sun for Venusaur. So it is going to be the Venusaur and Incineroar, as Saiyan is going to lead with Porygon 2 and Urshifu, which rhymes.
From Directing Ball's side, it's like it seems like a really easy just like switch into your Torkoal and Vine Lash the Urshifu. This covers a lot of options. Covers for Trick Room coming up. Covers for Urshifu trying to do anything. It'll definitely take it down to Sash. You'll get the Vine Lash up, get some chip damage going, and you'll have your Torkoal in Trick Room if they go for it. And if not, you got your Venusaur kind of ready to go. But there could be a very interesting counter that not entirely prepared for. But Venusaur is obviously a very scary Pokemon to go for. You never know what it's planning.
Yeah, I think if I'm directing ball in this situation, I'm probably just going to double into Saiyan's Urshifu. Reason being, I think the best possible switch-in would have actually been the Heatran. I don't think that Grimmsnarl is a bad one, but what you can do here in directing ball situation is just G-Max Vine Lash into that water type. And the only, this Grimmsnarl is going to take a lot of damage from that, right? And then you can do something like a Parting Shot into that same slot, just in case it is the Heatran or in case it's anything at all, and you're going to lower its stats.
Yeah. We are seeing the Max coming out from both sides. It's going to be Max Venusaur, the classic, and my personal favorite, Dynamax Porygon 2, the Mighty Duck.
It's something that has become it is no longer uncommon. It is something that is actually if you see it, you're not completely surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that Vine Lash is going to come out from that Venusaur, targeting into what was that Urshifu slot. It is going to do quite a bit of damage to the Grimmsnarl. Taunt is going to come out into the Porygon too, but funny thing is, it actually Dynamaxed and clicks Max Hailstorm this time around instead of Trick Room. So pretty decent chunk of damage going to come from this Porygon 2 into the Venusaur, and it is going to set Hail up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so kind of, I'd say that's a pretty even turn from both sides. Directing got up the Vine Lash, which is obviously very good. You love to get that chip damage. There's really, really good damage on the Grimmsnarl. And they didn't lose anything. It could have been a little risky leaving your Incineroar like that to get taken by a Surging Strike, but potentially reading that they just didn't want to lose their Shifu for no reason. Taunting the Porygons too is nice because it won't be able to protect anything, so it's a free slot that you can attack or Parting Shot off into. And good damage on the Venusaur with the Hailstorm.
Yeah, so we are going to see Saiyan's Grimmsnarl just go for that fake tears and try to get them drops. Call me Izzy, thank you for the follow. We are going to see a Max Ooze, however, come from this Venusaur, and it is going to be enough to pick up the KO into Grimmsnarl while also boosting the Grimmsnarl special attack. So next we should see Max Hailstorm come from this Porygon 2, and at -2, this Venusaur is going to be in some trouble. Let's see if it KOs, and it does.
Yeah, nice. That's obviously super good. Fake Tears, a great tech with Porygon 2. I actually really like the Porygon 2 Fake Tears combination.
Mm-hmm.
It does end up taking a Parting Shot, so it loses a little bit of its offensive pressure, but Porygon 2 is still super, super bulky, has no problem dealing with Torkoal outside of Trick Room, and has the option to change the weather still, too.
Yeah, it looks like ATX VGC in the chat saying, just now seeing the nicknames Bean Sprout, more than likely... That was probably the Venusaur. I actually hadn't even noticed the nicknames as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Vine Lash is still up. Obviously, the last thing you want to go into right now is your Shifu, because you want to keep that sash for as long as you possibly can. So you're gonna want to try and wait out the Vine Lash. Saiyan has the option to change to weather with a Hailstorm, but it's not going to do too much damage into either one of these targets. I imagine that Directing is going to want to switch out the Torkoal into one of their Backmons, so that they have the final say in the weather and really mitigate the damage from that Urshifu, so to make sure that it's not causing too much problems.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree.
Because with the exception of Venusaur, it looks like nothing on Directing Ball's team wants to take that Surging Strike. Garchomp is kind of your best answer to it, but it's still not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, so Fake Out coming from Directing Ball's Incineroar, it is going to go ahead and flinch that Zapdos. Max Strike does come out, however, I do think you're absolutely right about switching the weather, as if this Torkoal goes for something like a Heat Wave in the sun, it's going to do some pretty good damage to both of these Pokemon in the situation, and it is what we're going to see. Porygon 2, however, doesn't like what I have to say, and it does just dodge that attack. Zapdos comes down to 41 HP, and with that G-Max Vine Lash brings it down to a suspicious number 13.
Yeah, it was kind of a hard decision because you want to take the weather away from Torkoal to make it as weak as possible, but at the same time you don't want to do no damage. But now, Saiyan's probably gonna want to like try to either wait out the weather or get as much chip as they can onto like these mons so that Surging Stripes is able to sweep as efficiently as it can. The best thing in the back for Saiyan would be that stack Attacka, maybe even the Coffin, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Zapdos is unfortunately in range of like both Divine Lash and Life Orb range if it has a Life Orb, so it's not going to be doing much this last turn.
Yeah, I would
P2 decides
absolutely...
to change the weather now, just dodge it.
I saw that too. That was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Zapdos is gonna be knocked out here.
Yeah. Going down
that
to
was Life Orb.
Yeah, Life Orb recoil, getting some damage into the Incineroar. Not super worried about the Torkoal, really concerned about that Incineroar, which is kind of interesting to me. I thought that it was kind of like chipped enough to where it wouldn't be so much of an issue anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this Urshifu is the last Mon that Saiyan has in the back, and I mean, if this Porygon 2 goes down here, which it might, it does actually go down, it's going to be Urshifu against the world. I don't think that Urshifu is necessarily capable of 1v3ing, but I guess maybe it depends on what's in the back. But also you got to watch out for Torkoal getting these burns. Does Urshifu pick up a KO with Surging Strikes in the sun against a Torkoal? I think Torkoal is probably the biggest threat in this situation.
In the sun, Torkoal will live. It could also have something like a Solar Beam. Yeah, I think you really need the stack Attacka to be in the back, and the other thing is that you need to stall out the sun turns. Like, Urshifu is going to be going into real wet noodle mode if the sun stays up. It's just not going to be doing enough. And the issue is like you need to take a KO every single turn, and with the sun up, you just kind of don't have that option.
Yeah, I also see Saiyan contemplating going for a Protect in this situation to kind of stall out the sun. I don't know if he is actually thinking about it or not, but I do think that you need to go for an attack in this situation, because if you don't, and they switch out Torkoal here, they just reset the sun and you literally click Protect for nothing. So you just got to be kind of cautious about that. So Surging Strikes is going to come out from this Urshifu, likely targeting down this Torkoal, and it is, and that's going to bring it down to like 50% at the most after three attacks.
Yeah, and now if Torkoal has something like a Solar Beam, it's going to be able to take it down like pretty easily. Parting Shot doesn't matter because the only move that Urshifu's going to be going for is its move that always crits every single time. Why does it do that? It's stupid.
Every attack.
Every single one of those. Is that Street Shark? Did he name it Street Shark? Is this a Street Shark reference? On the plus side, it looks like Torkoal doesn't have a grass type move, but with the like damage that it's taken, because now Directing has a really safe switch out to the Torkoal, and either so that they can reset the sun and it's doing less damage, and either the Incineroar comes in for free and you have Fake Out Pressure the next turn, and also you're going to take a lot of recoil from like Rough Skin off of Garchomp, or you KO the Incineroar, you leave Garchomp alone, and it takes no damage, which makes it even harder to kill. So I think this is kind of like a bit of an unwinnable position. I think Directing would have to throw pretty hard in order to lose this one.
I think if Saiyan doesn't lose this turn, which it looks like he's not going to, considering the Garchomp is the only thing that's there. I don't think Garchomp can pick up a KO, depending on what it is. But you mentioning the Rough Skin on the Garchomp, if Urshifu targets that down and Garchomp gets one attack into this Urshifu this time, it's probably going to pick it up into Rough Skin range for if Urshifu were to attack it. And Dragon Claw is going to come out, and I mean, 26 HP. You have to hit Garchomp here with more than 3 Surging Strikes, which is obviously impossible. But I think 2 probably is enough just to knock it out by itself.
Yeah. So from that damage, we know that like A, Garchomp probably wasn't going down to his strikes in the sun, and B, even if Saiyan did go for the attack, it would have just done enough Rough Skin range to put it in range of Dragon Claw. Some very good information though is that the Garchomp is slower than the Urshifu, which is pretty interesting. But Directing doing a really, really good job of like positioning right at the end, even though losing the Dynamax really quickly. I think Saiyan's only like kind of like I think Saiyan played this really well. The only thing that kind of ended up not panning things out well at the end was not targeting down the Torkoal as much. Maybe they were predicting it to switch out so that they could preserve the Sun in the back, but not being able to do enough damage to that Torkoal was definitely the downfall there.
Yeah, looking at the Venusaur in this situation, it kind of reminds me of how G-Max Charizard was run back in Dallas Regionals. I mean, and it's kind of similar to how Colossal is run in Players Cup now. Even how it's like it has the like a Volcalyph move or the Wild Charge move where it does residual damage to to opposing Pokemon that aren't the same type as the attack. If you get that attack off, if you get G-Max Vine Lash off, you're pretty much already doing enough. Like, you look at all the damage that it did to Grimmsnarl, and then Grimmsnarl just dies after the second turn, you know?
Yeah. Comparing Venusaur to Colossal is like a very accurate like representation, because like it's so scary, it's putting on so much pressure. You really just have to call what it does correctly to put yourself in a really good position, because basically your opponent's putting on so much pressure that they're kind of free to do whatever. Like, if they don't like the position, they can do it better, because like you can't really afford to ignore Venusaur and then like get put to sleep or like have something like that happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also, I would like to point out, Woke Flossie, wouldn't Garchomp shoot out little Gibbles instead of Dreepy, or did I miss that part of the conversation? Ooh, it's the coffin!
Well, yeah, so we are going to see Cofagrigus and Incineroar lead here for Directing Ball's side of the field, and it is going to be Heatran, who I love to see, and Grimmsnarl. So pretty cool. We still have that combination of Fake Tears plus Heatran being a special attacker. Very, very fun tech to use, I will say.
Yeah. Heatran and Fake Tears is insanely powerful. Like, Heatran's super strong. It's also like a really, really good typing, like both offensively and defensively. Being 4 times weak to ground is like so worth it for like being 4 times resistant to like steel and like a bunch of other things, and then just having like offensive fire and steel pressure. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. One thing to kind of watch out for with this Heatran is obviously going to be that Garchomp. If Directing Ball has the Garchomp, then they're probably going to put themselves in a really good situation going against this Heatran.
Yeah.
So we are going to see a switch out. It's going to be the Porygon 2 subbing in for the Grimmsnarl. So there is not going to be any Fake Tear shenanigans going on just yet.
Yeah, but the Heatran is going to get big. Oh, Love Ball Heatran.
Yeah, I love that.
I
love that.
Also, I love this conversation in the chat about Garchomp adopting Dreepy babies that were released into the wild. Is that I am missing this, and I am very upset about it.
Oh man.
Pocket Sand, yes.
So we are going to see a G-Max ground. We're going to see a Max Quake come from the Heatran, targeting down into that Incineroar slot. Going to boost the special defense. Not quite going to pick up a KO if I recall correctly. Yeah, and it is going to proc the Citrus Berry for the Incin. So the Incin back in the red, pulling itself up to the yellow. Taunt is going to come out from the Incin, going into what was the Grimmsnarl, but is now actually going to be Porygon 2. So that's actually a really good taunt there, as Trick Room does get set by the Cofagrigus. So Trick Room can't get turned around if taunt is active. So pretty cool.
That's a really, really great taunt. A bit scary because not going for the fake out kind of like risks the Fake Tears into Max Flare into the coffin, which I'm pretty sure would have KO'd. Maybe it wouldn't. I actually don't know Coffin calcs very well, but like the taunt's really good because you like say that they do go for Fake Tears and set up the Sun and kill the Coffin and you don't get up Trick Room. Like, you still have the Sun. They can't set any sorts of screens. Grimmsnarl kind of can't do any prankster shenanigans after that. And if you get the Porygon 2, you get to keep Trick Room out.
Right. I would absolutely agree. What I was guessing would have happened that turn would have been a fake Tears into the Coughing and Setting Sun. But we are going to actually see Parting Shot come out, targeting down that Porygon 2, but is actually the Grimmsnarl again. So they're playing a little bait and switch technique. And the Incin is going to go back. I did actually miss what the Coffin did. Alpha Hope.
It body pressed the is this into the Stack Attacker? That's really big. Oh.
I don't see this not KO and even through Shuka.
I mean, it's. I think it'll survive. Oh,
that's big damage.
Oh, that's
a great
so
max round.
huge. So, not Parting Shot. So what most likely happened there is Directing like really wanted to get their Incineroar out and their Stack Attack in, and they wanted to cover for like the max guard so that they didn't get it off onto the Heatran. But like that's Torkoal's left. That's really bad. Like not parting shotting the Heatran and even just going so raw into the Stack Attack, which is probably the thing that you want to be Dynamaxing, is going to be a big momentum shift that in Saiyan's favor.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. And that's gonna put Saiyan way ahead in this game too.
Yeah. Is this gonna be a Max Turtle?
I think it is gonna be a Max Turtle.
Yeah. I love it. Yep, there he is.
Wow.
This is still like really good for Saiyan because Torkoal has pretty poor special defense. Heatran's at +2 special defense, so I don't think a Max Quake is going to KO. Fake Tears is going to make this opposing Quake even stronger. Like, things are looking good for Saiyan.
Yeah, so we are going to finally see that Shuka Berry come from this Heatran. I think it's very easily the most common item right now on Heatran. Max Quake is the one that triggers it, and we are going to see that does little to no damage. And the Fake Tears coming from that Grimmsnarl into this Heatran slot means that this returning Max Quake coming from the Heatran could potentially pick up a KO. I think it's going to be very close, but I do think that the potential is definitely there at -2.
Yeah.
No, that is very close.
It lives, but barely. I'd say that even with Max and Sun, that is definitely an Aqua Jet range. Torkoal's got a lot of work. So does this Coffin. I mean, it seems like a pretty easy. I think your best bet is to like Max Flare the Grimmsnarl and go for another body press into the Heatran because that looks like a KO. But yeah, with Urshifu and Porygon 2 in the back, like things are looking really good for Saiyan, but I would not say that Directing's out of this at all.
Yeah, do you think this is a situation where Saiyan can kind of just say goodbye to Heatran and just kind of let whatever happen? I mean, it's 3 to 4. Heatran can't really do a whole lot in the situation that it's in, but you can preserve it for later if you wanted to. I think, and switch out into the Porygon 2. And like a Max Quake coming from Torkoal into the Heatran isn't going to do a whole lot, and you can't Max Flare into it because you're just going to trigger Flash Fire.
Yeah, I'd be very down for preserving this Heatran because it just completely walls both the Incineroar and the Torkoal. And it looks like Grimmsnarl is going to be the one to switch out though. Yeah,
so it is going to be Porygon 2 switching in. I love looking at that shiny duck. It's very cool. I like to call it cotton candy, but I saw someone earlier call it the mighty duck, and I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
So Torkoal is just going to go for a max guard in the situation. Body press coming out, targeting down that Heatran. And it looks like Saiyan is just going to allow the Heatran to be switched out or to be KO'd to get a free switch in. So,
yeah, I'm fairly confident that Torkoal's in range of an Aqua Jet. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's a pretty weak move, and it's Sun Boost, and Torkoal has high defense. There's also the potential that you just don't want to lose your Focus Sash right now. And on the plus side, well, I think like you're kind of forced to target the P2 this turn with a Max Flare. Because this is the only time.
Directing Ball's last Pokemon is Incineroar, right? Did we see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah. I think that Saiyan is correct here in this situation. You have 2 Pokemon at full health. You actually have 3 Pokemon at full health because the Urshifu hasn't been targeted down yet. But Urshifu also hits everything that's left with, well, not the Cofagrigus, but I don't think that I think Urshifu is very capable of actually KOing the last 3 Pokemon this time around.
Yeah, definitely. The Mummy will be kind of annoying to deal with, but I don't think it's going to be able to like hard wall Urshifu. Incineroar and Torkoal are both so low that the Sun's not going to help them survive the water moves. Going for Reflect there could actually be kind of a mistake, because I think the 150 max flare is much more scary than the body press.
Yeah, so Max Flare is going to come out from this Dynamax Torkoal into the Porygon 2, does over 50%. I actually missed what that move was from the Cofagrigus.
Body press.
Oh, it was still body press. I thought it said something weird for some reason.
Nope, just body press.
Yeah, but that does just a little bit of chip damage into the Porygon 2, and then Porygon 2 picks up the KO with the Tri-Attack into the Torkoal, and we're going to see Incineroar come back out one more time.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of unfortunate is I'm not entirely sure if you can or should save your Porygon 2 at this point. I think keeping up just the Reflect is fine right now. If you can, you should go for Recover, but like Incineroar should just fake it out and reset up Trick Room. But I think like you can stall it out and probably win the game from here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Incineroar in this situation, you think it just wants to go for a fake out, and do you think they set Trick Room up? I think that they're in a really rough situation where they don't have many attackers. Like this Incin doesn't really provide a whole lot of offensive pressure.
Oh, the Incin's faster than the Porygon 2?
Yeah, so we are going to see a Flare Blitz come from this Incineroar, doing a lot of damage to itself, actually, while doing a reasonable chunk of damage into that Grimmsnarl. Recover is going to come out from the Porygon 2. So Grimmsnarl is just going to go for that Spirit Break, and after, I think it's got 2 Intimidates on it. It might just be 1.
I think just the 1.
Yeah, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage into the Incineroar. Body Press is going to come out once again from the Coffin, and it brings Porygon 2 to 72 HP. I think Porygon 2 is really just free to just continuously click Recover, and it would provide us with a Game 3.
Yeah, I think with that kind of non-targeting, like not faking out the Porygon 2, it should just kind of seal the game, because now it can just go for Recover forever. Grimmsnarl can like slap Incineroar around till it goes down, because it looks like its only move is Flare Blitz, which it does look like it just goes down to this next Flare Blitz, and the Coffin shouldn't be able to 1v3. If it 1v3s, this is an amazing Pokemon that I have not been paying attention to.
Yes, I absolutely agree. We are going to see another Body Press come from Maskey. This time it actually just targets down the Grimmsnarl, maybe scouting for some damage for Game 3. I'm not really sure if they think that they can win this game or not. But we'll likely, I would expect to see a forfeit in Game 2 here from Directing Ball.
Yeah. Again, unless this Coffin is capable of much more than I realize it is, this should be game for Saiyan. I guess it doesn't hurt to like kind of drag things out. Maybe you can get some information, figure out like some sort of damage flat, make a new game plan for Game 3. But yeah, oh god, that Ice Beam did so. Oh, it was a crit. Okay,
Fake.
That makes sense.
Well, I know it's fake tears. Nino Pokebros in the chat saying double ally switch is where it's at now. You must have seen Adam Santaco's clip.
Weeblewobs also did really well in the tournament recently with double ally switch.
Oh, really?
Open team sheet format. Isn't that like the most horrifying thing that you could face? Like someone going up and you're like, hey, I have 2 ally switches.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, okay, look, we got a Game 3.
We got a Game 3. Everyone spam the hype emotes or spam either hype emotes or your favorite emote or your ban roller coaster emote, because I like that one a ton too.
I also love the ban roller coaster. I'll endorse that. Yep, I love it. Oh god, that's hot.
Chase really doesn't like you, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're out of here.
I also love the Masuda smile. I switched twice at the same turn. Oh, Up Smash, have you seen the clip of Ashton where he ran like a mono ally switch team, and it like he literally started game turn 1 by ally switching with both of them?
Oh my goodness. I was there when he did. I didn't see the whole stream of it, but there was another time where he he just did it to like end the game or something. He just double ally switched.
Amazing. We need Ashton emote so we can spam it every time Roller Coaster talks about it. Look, I'm a fan. What can I say?
I love those emotes, Chase. They are awesome.
So let's talk about like potential adjustments here as I freeze in what is the most unflattering position I possibly could have.
So I was actually thinking about this. Do you mind if I tell you my thoughts real fast?
Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I think the Wrecking Ball's best lead here is actually to go with Garchomp plus Ensign to provide the most pressure. And then I do also think that Stack Attack is pretty good, but the only thing that you really need to watch out for in that situation would be the Heatran going for something like a Max Quake or just an Earthquake. That's kind of what I was thinking. What were you thinking?
Honestly, I think that like Heatran's a really solid option for Saiyan here. It worked so well in game 2. I do think that you're right, like leading something like the Garchomp to really pressure the Heatran, because Heatran can only really hit it neutrally, and again, its stab move that Heatran is 4 times weak to boost its special defense, making each Heatran hit weaker and weaker. So this could be a case of like, sometimes you just need to make a read on what your opponent is going to do and you can't play safe anymore, and potentially this could be the time.
It's not safe here anymore. But also think about Garchomp's attack stat. Like that thing is so high, and if something like a I love that too. I don't even know what the reference is, but I think that's a really cool nickname.
So like there were a bunch of like when Ninja Turtles got really popular, there were like a bunch of like kind of makeshift versions of this. There were biker mice from Mars, there were ninja pizza cats, and there were street sharks. So it's like I think they were regular sharks. They were like mutated into like ultra buff like Hulk sized sharkmen people.
Oh my goodness.
So there's an interesting bit of pop culture information for no one that wanted it.
So it's actually kind of a cool situation here for Saiyan, as they maybe did predict that the Wrecking Ball would go in with the Garchomp. They are now free to just either click Ice Beam. They can have fun and Dynamax the Porygon 2, as everyone knows that chat loves to see the big old cotton candy duck, you know?
Yeah. Particularly, yes, they did skateboard. It was the 90s. They had to be extreme. Ooh, this could be a really good turn for Saiyan. Yeah, just going for a raw Dragon Claw into the Porygon 2. And what is Direcking's best answer against the Heatran if Saiyan brought it just goes down? Yeah.
I'm not sure if they brought it or not, but we are going to see a body press come from Maskey as they just get the double into the Porygon 2. I do think that if Wrecking Ball did go for the Dynamax in the Garchomp slot, so they could have done a couple of different things there, right? They could have protected the Garchomp to just kind of scout what the Porygon 2 was going to do. Through a Protect, a Max Hailstorm is not going to KO. It might do a lot of damage, but you're at least scouting what's going on. You're seeing what Wrecking Ball or what Saiyan is up to. It really just gives you a better chance to either just go for a Protect, or you can Dynamax and get a big attack off and potentially pick up a KO with like a Max Dragon plus a body press. What do you think, Rollercoaster?
I think that like losing that Garchomp may be like kind of a lot worse than potentially you could realize, because now so like you could go for like taunt. Are they speed tying? They have to be speed tying, right?
They must have, yeah.
Yeah. Are these both mid-speed Porygon and Incineroar? Yeah. I think like Direcking's kind of in this awkward position of like, I want Trick Room up, but I don't know if you're gonna undo my Trick Room, and like letting this Porygon to get recovers off is gonna be really bad. I would say that almost certainly that the Stack Attack is in the back, but I just don't know if it's gonna be able to break through the Heatran. Yeah,
I would absolutely agree. I think I think either protecting Garchomp turn 1 there or going for the max. And getting a big attack off into Porygon 2 was probably the way to go. But it's not over yet. You're right, especially if there is still a stack attack in the back. If there's a stack in the back, there's hope.
If you got stacks in the back, you have a chance. That didn't work out.
There's always hope. So we are going to see a Spirit Break, still doing chip damage to Dude, the Incineroar. Try attack coming from this Porygon 2, going into the Incin again. Doing pretty good damage as it is the Figgy Berry that is going to be procced, taking it back over half. It is Citrus. I did say it right the first time. I thought I was wrong. Will-O-Wisp coming out from this Cofagrigus into the Grimmsnarl. So pretty good burn there. We haven't seen this Cofagrigus do a whole lot of things other than go for like a. That was the first time we did see Will-O-Wisp in the past, but we have also seen Body Press, and that's pretty much it. We got to assume that it's got like Trick Room and Ally Switch, or maybe I think it gets Imprison as well. It's one of the few.
I think it gets Nightshade and Haze as well. I think I looked at it for like Haze potential at one point.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that like Saiyan's doing a really good job of just chipping everything so that it's going to be in range of the Heatran, and kind of like the longer they stay on the field, the just like more that they're they get to chip things and be annoying. And Directing's kind of having a hard time like putting on as much offensive pressure. Like they're burning stuff and they're kind of doing stuff like that, and they're chipping with Flare Blitz, but It just looks like it's kind of not going to be enough, even though this Grimmsnarl is doing absolutely nothing at this point.
Yeah. So we are going to see a Tri-Attack come from this Porygon 2, and it does do quite a bit of damage to the Incineroar. We're going to see a Parting Shot come out from this Incineroar going into the Mighty Duck. That's what I'm going to start calling it from now on. I like that a lot.
Are you familiar with the Mighty Ducks cartoon show?
No.
Okay,
I'm not actually.
Yes, Stack Attack is in the back attack, and Trick Room does get up. So if Direct is going to make a comeback, this is kind of where it needs to happen. I think what would be the best thing would be if this was Max Attack Stack Attacka, which getting the Attack Beast Boost would be really, really helpful right about now.
Yeah, I agree. And if Directing Ball is going to have anything solid here, or if they want to make some strong predictions, I say they actually might want to go for something like a max ground into this Grimmsnarl or something of the sorts, because I have a really good feeling we're going to see a switch in from Saiyan in that slot, going to be a Heatran. And that's going to just give you kind of a step forward towards being able to beat Saiyan, I think, in this game 3.
Yeah,
the Stack Attack, of course. What is that kind of... Was that Amy? That had to have been Amy.
Is Stack Attack a horse? I will stand by this. Stack Attack is a horse. When you see that thing Dynamax, it gallops when it does it. That is a horse move if you ever seen it. It's from another dimension, but it is in fact a horse.
It's a Galarian horse. I don't mind that so much. It's kind of funny. We are going to see a Dynamax.
I love Attack on Titan.
Chase says it's definitely a horse. Amy says space horse. I like that. Stack is cart.
That is a horse maneuver right there.
Is both horse and duck simultaneously. So we do see a Dynamax. It is going to just be a max Steel Spike going into this Grimmsnarl. Going to go ahead and boost the defenses of Directing Balls, both of the Pokemon there.
Which interestingly increases the damage output of Body Press.
I think DJ Prime is right. I think Stack is a turtle. So we're going to see Bastion is going to get the Beast Boost. So where's Adam Santako's at with the Beast Boost? Body Press coming out from the Cofagrigus, bringing that Porygon 2 down to 39 HP. And Trick Room is going to get set. So they're pretty interesting there.
Yeah. I would say, like, even though Trick Room got lost, this isn't a super bad position for Directing. Like, they have a defense boost to help out with like anything that Urshifu can do in the back. They're Dynamax now, so they're way less likely to go down to the... What? They said no? They said Stack isn't a horse? This is outrageous. I'm canceling this Twitch channel.
Roller Coaster just leaves stream while live commentating. See you guys later. This is not it. Surely
this is not what I'm about personally. Yeah. Be glad that I don't have that power. I would have used it.
Stop the votes. Stop the votes.
So Stack has the option to like break the Shukaberry on Heatran this turn, get Trick Room back up, and then finish it off the next turn. I think there's a bit of a mind game on like who goes for Trick Room this turn. Do you? Do I? Like what happens? But like I think whoever, if Trick Room gets up at the end of this turn, I think the directing is actually in a decent position.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. It'd be kind of funny to see Porygon 2 go for Trick Room 2 turns in a row, predicting that Trick Room comes out from the Cofagrigus as well. And we're going to see a Steel Spike come out, and it actually is not targeting down the Bastion. It's targeting down Maskey, which is the Cofagrigus. Could potentially be a double into this, trying to pick up a KO. I don't think it's going to happen if that is the case because, well, we could see a freeze, actually. That could be a way to stop the Trick Room. Let's see if we can talk this into existence.
It gets crit again, but hangs on.
Wow, and the crit almost proves me wrong here, saying that there's no double KO chance there, and the Trick Room is going to go up as well. So you kind of called that one into existence.
Yeah,
the Stack chooses you.
Yeah, I'd say that like the only issue is I think that like directing really needed to attack and risk the damage from the Max Quake. That is, of course, if Stack Attack has Max Quake of their own to go for, because you really needed to break the Shukaberry so that you could pressure the KO onto it this turn.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree, and we are just going to see a Max card come out from the Heatran. I wonder if Saiyan kind of sees what Directing Ball is doing and says, you know what? I like your tactics. I'm going to do it as well. So Body Press comes out from the Cofagrigus, but picks up a KO, so no Trick Room shenanigans going to happen this time around from the Porygon 2. Might have also been a double in. I don't think that we saw the Stack Attack just yet. Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like we did actually.
Well, Flossy's saying that maybe it's a vehicle, like a Stack at.
AT-AT from Star Wars, yeah.
It's pronounced at.
Is that how you say it?
The AT-AT is pronounced at, but like the AT-STs are called AT-STs. It's really stupid. Star Wars is dumb.
I love Star Wars.
I do too. It's stupid. Stack Attack. Okay, but now see, like, this is a lot rougher, right? Because if Directing had broken the Shukaberry on, like, the turn when Trick Room wasn't up, they'd still be able to pressure the KO onto the Heatran this turn with just, like, high horsepower. If Stack Attack is not a horse, then why does it have high horsepower? But now, like, Heatran can just easily go for a Max Quake. We saw it KO last time through the Shukaberry in its regular form. Even on top of that, Urshifu can go for, like, close combats or surging strikes. This is, like, a really not great position right now.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. We are going to see a Dude the Incineroar switch back in. Very low health. So if we do see that Cofagrigus getting targeted down, it should be the end of this set. For
Big Aqua Jet. Oh, into the Incineroar on the switch.
No more Dude. Dude is out.
Poor Dude. It is Earthquake that helps a little, and not really though. Yeah, it's just with the defense boost on the Heatran, it's just not doing enough. And this Quake, as we saw in the previous game, is enough to KO.
Yep, so it is going to be Max Quake coming from the Heatran, going down into the Stack Attack. Maybe it was a roller coaster. It looks like it lived in red, just barely hanging on. It was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster. It lives, but it's just not enough at this point is the unfortunate thing. Like, Urshifu, it's probably, like, even with the defense boost and the attack drop on Urshifu, I think that it's probably still in range of an Aqua Jet. And even if it's not in range of an Aqua Jet, it can't KO the Urshifu and the Heatran this turn. Like, I think you'd have to body press the Urshifu and hope that Heatran just doesn't go for an attack this turn, because, like, Heatran can just, honestly, just Heat Wave this turn and it should be fine.
Yeah, I want to see Saiyan go for an Aqua Jet into this Mummy so we can see it get mummified.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything at this point in the game, but I just think it would be funny.
Yeah. Oh, you could also just Aqua Jet the coffin for the KO and Earth Power the stack attack, and then like whatever you have surviving, you can just Aqua Jet, or like protect and stuff. But yeah, it's I think that it's just kind of is in range of Aqua Jet. Yeah.
I think everything is, yeah.
And poor stack attacker just couldn't do enough in enough time.
It's crazy.
And also Garchomp going down very quickly was pretty crucial.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. It's crazy to see the difference, like what a body press does to an Urshifu, if it's super effective or not super effective. Like the dark type Urshifu would take like at least half health from that, or pretty close to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'd say that was a great set just overall. Like both players played really well. Sane did a really great job of adjusting, obviously, and yeah, did a good job of kind of like pressuring and like chipping everything so it was in range for like Heatran to roam free towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree.